is an amazing woman. She was diagnosed with breast cancer not long ago and is really fighting the good fight. She's a mother, she's a lover, and she's a fighter. So please put your hands together for Jenny.
First of all, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for donating your time and your goods to get this house built. It means the world to people like me who are treated, I was treated at QEH, still am being treated at QEH. The Hospital Research Foundation does a lot for the QEH for patient care to make sure that we're comfortable, especially when we're having things like treatment like chemo. We've got gorgeous chairs to sit in, etc. It also helps the Basil Hetzel Institute for research. They're holding one of my breasts. They'll have the other one of my breasts at the end of this month. So to know that it's such a tight-knit little, I don't know the word. It's all linked in so closely, and for you guys to be able to support them, to support people like me, means the world. So, all right, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a backstory on my story. So, as Paul said, 18 months ago, I was travelling along, enjoying my life, being a missus to my mister, a mother to my 2 teenage children. They always make me cry. I was working part-time. My son was preparing for Year 12 exams, and we were starting to plan for an overseas holiday. I found a small lump in my right breast, took myself off for a mammogram, which should have taken about 15 minutes. My 15-minute appointment turned into a 2-hour appointment, test after test, waiting after waiting, and I went home knowing that I had malignancy, cancer. So after that 15-minute appointment, I became a statistic. I became one in 8 Australian women who will be diagnosed with breast cancer. What followed was surreal. At 41, I had my left breast removed. I had all my lymph nodes removed, and then I waited for results to see if it had spread through my body. The night before I went, my kids are going to make me cry again. The night before I went for those results, my then 14-year-old son asked me, "What is it you're waiting on, Mum? What does it mean?" And I said, "Well, if it shows up in my lymph nodes, it means I've got a bigger fight on my hands." Well, it did show up in my lymph nodes. And the next day I had to go home and tell my son that my biggest fear had been realised. Oh dear. I had to watch as my biggest fear became his biggest fear. My life became a series of medical appointments, and to date I've clocked up over 170 medical appointments in 18 months. I never imagined cancer to be a part of my life. I certainly never imagined having to sit in an oncologist's office with my husband and be told that I had a 37% chance of survival. 37%. How do you deal with that one? Cancer doesn't discriminate. It didn't care that I hadn't lived a full life. It didn't care that I had children, that I hadn't seen them graduate, that I hadn't seen them walk down the aisle or held grandchildren in my arms. It didn't care that I had enjoyed retirement with my mister. And that's the thing with cancer, it can come knocking at any time for anyone. Every 5 minutes, someone in Australia will be receiving a cancer diagnosis. 1 in 2 Australians will receive a diagnosis by the age of 85. Last year, 15,000 Australian men and women received breast cancer diagnosis. For me, my diagnosis meant a full year of treatment. It meant 6 months of bloody awful chemo. It meant 5 surgeries. It meant 32 rounds of radiotherapy. And it also means that I will undergo at the end of this month another breast removal and start my reconstruction surgeries. That's about another 9 months of surgeries. So, how do you get through it? How do you get through treatment and beyond? Well, we didn't do it by ourselves. We relied on the outpouring of love and support from what I call my cheerleaders, our support system. I'm no Willy Wonka, so I'm sure not going to sugarcoat it for you. Cancer brings out the best and the worst in people. It's something that a lot of patients experience. We've certainly experienced. Some will come running and some will walk a mile away. As if you don't have enough to deal with when you're going into a cancer treatment, dealing with absent family and friends is the pits. So if someone you love, someone you know in your community, or someone that you work with receives a cancer diagnosis, what can you do for them? well, there's plenty you can do for them. So today I'm just going to give you 5 really simple tips. I could give you 50, but 5 will do. The first one, I think, is to acknowledge them, acknowledge their diagnosis and what they're going through, and ask the question. Ask how they're doing. Don't run away. Don't treat them like they're a leper. The simplest question to ask is, where are you at in your treatment? So easy, but it allows that person to open up to you, let them know what you need to know, what they want you to know. Okay, number 2, the best act of love we received was friends who cooked for us. Opening the fridge to see meals delivered by friends left us with a sense of relief. It lifted my mother guilt. It meant that my mister could come home from work and not have to rustle up a meal. We could just sit down and eat together. It meant that those nights, the burden was lifted. We had cheerleaders who would turn up on our doorstep. Sorry, it's very warm in here. In their pyjamas with meals. We had people that would come and sit with me after surgeries and with beautiful healthy lunches. We had friends who would bake goodies for our kids because they knew that's what they were used to. We had a friend's daughter who made cakes for our boys because she remembered me making cakes for cricket matches. Sorry. So again that they're stuck together. If you have someone that you know who's been diagnosed who has children, offer to pick them up from school, take them to sporting events. You can organise a home chef, donate a box of fruit and veg, or offer to do the grocery run for the poor husband who's got no idea, standing in Foodland, looking at the milk going full fat, skim milk, semi-skim, oh, I don't know. If you live interstate, you can pop a Woolworths gift card in the mail. You can organise to have groceries delivered to home. You can do something. Number 3, home maintenance. Oh gosh, we hate gardening. I was the gardener in our house. When I got sick, that was it. It all just wilted and died. Our biggest priority was spending time together. So home maintenance, gardening came very, very low down on the ladder. Sorry. You could offer to weed people's gardens. You could offer to clean their barbecue ready for a barbecue. You could offer to get the cobwebs out of the pergola, mow the lawns, refill the gas bottle. It's all little things, but those little things add up to big things. It adds up to time that they can spend together. Keep regular contact. There's a flurry of calls when you first get diagnosed. The sad looks, the pats on the back, you'll be right, kick cancer's ass, just be positive, and then it all dies down. There's very few that actually stick around for the full length of the journey. Sometimes it's hard for people to keep regular contact. I had friends who it was just too sad, but for them they could pop a card in the mailbox. They would text me, phone me. Some people would send me messages when they knew I was sitting in the chair having chemo going through my veins. Another girlfriend would make up a song, and every week at chemo she'd send me another line to the song. It was to the 12 days of Christmas, it was the 12 rounds of chemo. I had 16, but the second lot was 12. So little things like that can make a difference. So just keep contact with them. Drop in, message. There's so many ways that we can communicate these days. Okay. Number 5. Don't say, call me if you need anything. God, I hate that line. I could have been crawling down the hallway on my hands and knees. In fact, I did. I had days where I shuffled around shops, in pain, feeling the effects of nausea, gathering Christmas presents, gathering birthday presents, doing the Easter egg run. I was so sick, but I wasn't going to call anyone. Why? Well, I was embarrassed. I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to hear people's excuses. I didn't want people to see me vulnerable. So don't offer to do it, just do it. Just turn up with that meal, turn up and offer to mow the lawn, take them out for a massage, get their nails done, whatever it is, just do it, don't offer. Now I know I said I had 5 tips, but I have to add a 6th, especially seeing as my mister's here tonight. Don't forget the partner or the children. For me, I have 2 teenage boys, oh they make me cry again, and a husband, and they all had their lives and their routines disrupted. Their workloads were increased while I was going through treatment. They also had fears and they had hard days, and they still do. So ask them how they're doing. Organise some extra play dates. offer to pick them up from school, offer to help organise birthday parties, offer to go around and help put up that Christmas tree or wrap the Christmas presents. Maybe there's a sports carnival coming up and they need zig cream. Whatever it is, just go around and offer. Take the partner out for a meal or a drink. Maybe it's just an opportunity for them to vent, or maybe it's an opportunity for them to just feel normal for a moment. And don't forget to pat them on the back for all their hard work and their love. So this is a snapshot of what the impact of a cancer diagnosis can have. We all have the ability to make a difference. We all have the ability to make someone's going through treatment, their time brighter and easier. Cancer doesn't end with chemo or radiotherapy sessions. It will live in the psyche of the patient and their loved ones forever. They will continue to have side effects and testing. They will need your support and your love forever. One thing I know for sure, when you know better, you should do better. So I think you all know better. So if somebody in your family, your friendship circle, your community, or at work has a cancer diagnosis, you now can do better. Thank you.
I'll just give you some statistics that perhaps reinforce a couple of things Jenny says. Jenny is working through the process of being healed of cancer, but 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed in their lifetime with breast cancer. 1 in 4 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime with prostate cancer. The fastest growing diagnosis for cancer at the moment is bowel cancer in the age group of 20 to 30-year-olds. 15 years ago, it was unheard of in 20 to 30-year-olds. The Hospital Research Foundation funds medical research and funds patient care, but the reason we fund medical research is to improve patient care and to ensure that treatments are there when people need them when you go to hospital. I was sitting in a meeting this morning, 8:30, and I was the only non-researcher in this meeting. There was about a dozen or so senior researchers from the Basil Hetzel Institute, and I was actually sitting there listening to the conversation. It was an administrative meeting, but my only thought was, what can we do to get these people out back into the lab? Why are they sitting there, spending more time than they have to, worrying about where the money's coming from? This lottery drives an awful lot of money. In a good year, we can deliver about $5 million from the 2 lotteries. In an average year, which the GFC has impacted, it's about $3 million. We really want to make this a good year, because by making this a good year, we can continue to fund the research that's going to deliver cures and improve cares. Your contribution to this is what you supply, sometimes at cost, sometimes at loss, to this lottery home and to our campaigns. There's a lot of people here from the media. We really appreciate your help in delivering the services that we provide to people like Jenny. Thank you very much.